MIA and Alex met by accident, but their connection was instant and undeniable. MIA was a talented pianist, a rising star known for her grace and poise. She came from a wealthy family that valued tradition and status. Her life was a carefully curated mix of charity events, classical concerts, and high society gatherings. Alex, on the other hand, was an aspiring writer who came from a humble background. He worked at a local bookstore, spending his free time penning short stories and dreaming of publishing his own novel. He was passionate, free-spirited, and full of dreams, qualities that attracted MIA instantly. They met on a rainy afternoon in a small cafe. MIA was seeking shelter from the storm, while Alex was hunched over his notebook, lost in his writing. When MIA's umbrella accidentally knocked over his coffee, they struck up a conversation. Their shared love for literature and music quickly blossomed into something more, and before they knew it, they were spending every free moment together. As MIA and Alex grew closer, their differences seemed to fade away. They spent their days exploring the city, attending art exhibits, and finding hidden spots where they could talk for hours. MIA found herself inspired by Alex's passion and zest for life, while Alex was captivated by MIA's elegance and kindness. But their happiness wasn't without its challenges. MIA's family, the Montagues, had high expectations for her. They wanted her to marry someone from their social circle, someone who could uphold the family name and status. MIA knew that Alex, with his unassuming charm and modest lifestyle, wouldn't meet their approval. Despite her fears, MIA couldn't bear to let go of Alex. She felt more alive with him than she had ever felt before. Together, they made a promise: no matter what, they would stand by each other and face whatever obstacles came their way. MIA's family discovered her relationship with Alex sooner than she had hoped. Her mother, Cecilia, had noticed MIA's recent absence from family gatherings and her increased secrecy. After a little investigation, Cecilia learned about Alex, and she was not pleased. One evening, MIA's parents confronted her. "Who is this boy you're seeing?" her father, Charles, demanded, his voice tinged with disapproval. "You know what is expected of you. You have a future to think about, and this boy cannot be a part of it." MIA tried to explain her feelings, but her parents were unmoved. They threatened to cut her off financially, insisting that Alex was only interested in her money. MIA knew it wasn't true. Alex didn't even know about her family's wealth when they met. He loved her for who she was, not what she had. Despite the pressure, MIA refused to end things with Alex. She stood her ground, determined to live her life on her own terms, even if it meant losing her family's support. But the tension between her love for Alex and her family's disapproval weighed heavily on her heart. In the face of her family's opposition, MIA and Alex's relationship grew stronger. They continued to see each other in secret, meeting in quiet parks and remote cafes where they could enjoy each other's company without fear of being discovered. These stolen moments became their sanctuary, a place where they could be themselves and share their dreams. But as their love deepened, so did the strain of living in hiding. MIA found herself caught between two worlds, the world she had known all her life and the world she wanted to build with Alex. She knew that they couldn't continue like this forever. Sooner or later, they would have to make a choice. One evening, as they walked along the river, Alex took MIA's hand and looked into her eyes. "I don't want to hide anymore," he said softly. "I love you, MIA, and I want us to be together, no matter what it takes. But I need to know if you're willing to take that step with me." MIA felt her heart swell with love and fear. She knew what she wanted, but she also knew what it would cost. She nodded, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I love you, Alex. I'm ready." Determined to be together, MIA and Alex devised a plan to leave the city and start a new life where no one knew them. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they believed that their love would give them the strength to face whatever challenges lay ahead. MIA quietly withdrew money from her savings and packed a small bag with the essentials. She told Alex to meet her at the train station the following evening, and together, they would board a train to a distant town where they could begin anew. But as they prepared to leave, MIA's family grew suspicious. They had noticed her unusual behavior and had started to monitor her movements more closely. Unbeknownst to MIA and Alex, Cecilia had hired a private investigator to follow them, determined to put an end to their relationship. On the night of their departure, as MIA made her way to the train station, she felt a sense of freedom she had never known before. But when she arrived, she was met not by Alex, but by her parents, who had intercepted him before he could reach her. MIA's parents stood between her and the life she had planned with Alex, their faces hard and unyielding. Charles grabbed her arm, pulling her away from the platform. "You don't understand," MIA cried, her voice filled with desperation. "I love him, and I want to be with him." But her parents were unmoved. They told her that Alex had been taken to the police station under false pretenses, and they would ensure he was kept away from her. MIA's heart shattered, realizing the lengths they would go to keep them apart. She spent the next days in a state of despair, her every move watched by her family. They had taken her phone, cut off her communication with Alex, and isolated her from the outside world. She felt like a prisoner in her own home, with no hope of escape. Just when MIA had nearly lost all hope, she received a letter from Alex. He had managed to slip a note through the hands of a trusted friend, assuring her that he was safe and that he would find a way to be with her again. His words rekindled her spirit, reminding her that their love was stronger than any obstacle. With newfound determination, MIA began to devise a new plan. She knew that if they were to succeed, they would need the help of someone who understood their love. She reached out to her cousin, Laura, who had always been supportive and open-minded. Laura agreed to help, promising to assist them in any way she could. Together, they planned one final escape. MIA knew the risks, but she also knew that she couldn't live without Alex. She packed her bags once more, this time with the full support of Laura, who would act as their ally on the outside. On a quiet, misty morning, MIA and Alex met at a hidden spot by the river, far from prying eyes. Laura had managed to distract MIA's parents, giving them just enough time to make their getaway. They embraced, holding each other tightly, and then set off on foot toward a new life. They traveled for days, moving from town to town, avoiding any place where they might be recognized. Along the way, they found strength in each other, relying on their love to carry them through. Though they had little in terms of material possessions, they felt richer than ever, free to live as they chose. Years passed, and MIA and Alex built a life together filled with love, laughter, and resilience. They settled in a small village, where MIA taught music and Alex wrote his novel, drawing from their own experiences to tell a story of love against all odds. Though they had left behind the life MIA had once known, they had found something far greater, a love that had endured, despite the challenges they faced. In each other's arms, they had found a home, a place where they could be free, and a reminder that true love could overcome any obstacle. Their story became a local legend, a testament to the power of love to defy even the strongest opposition. And as they grew old together, they knew that, in the end, they had made the right choice. They had chosen love, and it had carried them through, proving that nothing could stand in the way of a love that was meant to be. MIA and Alex's new life in the village was far from the lavish world MIA had once known, but it was filled with simple joys and a freedom they had never before experienced. They rented a cozy cottage on the edge of town, surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests. Here, they could live quietly, far from the watchful eyes of MIA's family and the expectations of society. MIA began giving piano lessons to the local children, finding fulfillment in teaching them the art that had once been her solace. Alex took up work at a small bookstore in town, where he continued to write in his spare time. Together, they embraced a slower pace of life, savoring each moment and finding beauty in the ordinary. In their new home, they built routines that brought them closer. They woke with the sunrise, walked through the fields, and shared quiet dinners by candlelight. Their days were filled with love and laughter, and they found happiness in the simplicity of their surroundings. Though they had little material wealth, they felt as though they had everything they needed. As the seasons changed, so did the town's perception of Mia and Alex. At first, they were seen as outsiders, a mysterious couple who had appeared seemingly out of nowhere. But over time, they became a beloved part of the community. The townspeople admired their dedication to each other and the kindness they showed to everyone they met. One day, as Mia was walking through the town square, she spotted a familiar face. It was her cousin Laura, who had traveled secretly to see them. Laura brought news of Mia's family and the turmoil that had erupted in her absence. Her parents had tried to track them down but had been unsuccessful. Frustrated and embarrassed, they had eventually given up, though they still held on to the hope that Mia would one day return. Laura shared that Mia's family was not as unbreakable as it had once seemed. Without Mia, the cracks in their unity had begun to show. Charles and Cecilia had distanced themselves from each other, blaming one another for Mia's disappearance. Laura assured Mia that while her family missed her, they had finally accepted that she had made her choice. With Laura's visit, Mia began to think about her family in a new light. She had felt so much anger and hurt after their attempts to keep her away from Alex, but now, with some distance, she found herself feeling compassion. She wondered if they, too, had been prisoners of their own expectations, trapped in a world where appearances mattered more than happiness. Mia decided to write a letter to her parents, hoping to bridge the gap that had grown between them. In her letter, she explained her decision to be with Alex, expressing her love for him and her gratitude for the life they had built together. She assured them that, despite the path she had chosen, she still loved them and hoped they could one day understand her choice. A few weeks later, Mia received a letter in response. It was from her mother, Cecilia. Though the words were guarded, there was a sense of longing beneath the surface. Cecilia admitted that she missed Mia and that, in her heart, she wanted her daughter to be happy. She apologized for the way they had tried to control her life, expressing a hope that, someday, they could find a way to reconnect. With the lines of communication reopened, Mia and Alex agreed to visit Mia's family. They knew that healing would take time, but they wanted to take the first step toward reconciliation. Alex assured Mia that he would stand by her side, no matter what happened, and they both felt a sense of hope as they prepared to face her family together. Their arrival was met with a mixture of emotions. Mia's parents were initially tense and distant, but as the days passed, old wounds began to heal. Mia shared stories of their life in the village, and her parents saw firsthand the love and happiness that she had found with Alex. They began to understand that Mia had not abandoned them, but had simply chosen a life that was truer to herself. Slowly, the barriers between them fell away. Charles and Cecilia began to see Alex not as an intruder, but as a man who truly loved their daughter and had given her a life filled with joy. While they would never fully understand her choice, they respected it, finding peace in the knowledge that Mia had followed her heart. As Mia and Alex spent more time with her family, they found ways to build new connections. They shared meals, laughed over old memories, and created new ones together. Though the relationship was not perfect, it was real, and it was healing. They had learned to accept one another, not as the people they had expected each other to be, but as the people they were. Before returning to the village, Mia's parents offered them their blessings, a quiet acknowledgement of the love that had carried them through. They knew that Mia and Alex would continue to walk their own path, but they hoped that, from time to time, they could be part of their lives. Mia and Alex returned to the village with a sense of peace, knowing that they had not only found a new life for themselves but had also rebuilt the bonds that had once seemed irrevocably broken. Mia and Alex's love story became a tale that was told throughout the village, a story of courage, sacrifice, and the power of following one's heart. They continued to live in their little cottage, surrounded by nature and the community that had embraced them. Mia's piano students flourished under her guidance, and Alex's stories found a place in the hearts of many readers. Their life was simple, yet rich with meaning. They had chosen love over convention, and in doing so, they had created a life that was true to who they were. Their journey inspired others to look beyond societal expectations and to pursue the things that truly mattered. As they grew old together, Mia and Alex often reflected on their journey. They had faced countless obstacles, but their love had endured, growing stronger with each challenge they had overcome. They had built a life on their own terms, and in each other, they had found a love that was both their refuge and their greatest adventure. Through their story, Mia and Alex showed that love, when true, can defy the odds and bridge even the widest divides. Their love had been tested, but it had emerged unbreakable, a love that had inspired others to believe in the beauty of following one's heart, no matter where it might lead. Over time, Mia and Alex became beloved figures in their community. The villagers admired the couple's resilience and dedication to one another, and they often sought their advice on matters of the heart. In their home, Mia and Alex created a sanctuary where neighbors, friends, and even strangers could come to share their joys and sorrows. One day, a young couple came to visit them. They had heard of Mia and Alex's story and wanted guidance on navigating their own challenges. The young couple, much like Mia and Alex once had, faced opposition from their families. They felt uncertain about their future and feared they might not have the strength to stand by each other. Mia and Alex welcomed them in and shared their journey, the obstacles they had faced, and the sacrifices they had made. They spoke about the pain of estrangement, but also the joy of creating a life together. They assured the couple that, while the path would not always be easy, love could be a guiding force, a light that carried them through even the darkest times. The young couple left with newfound hope, feeling inspired by Mia and Alex's resilience. They saw in Mia and Alex a reflection of themselves and felt ready to face the world together. Mia and Alex's story spread beyond the village, becoming a tale that others shared in their own communities. People from nearby towns came to meet them, drawn by the legend of the couple who had defied expectations to be together. They often returned home with a renewed belief in love and a strengthened resolve to live authentically. Mia and Alex continued to live humbly, content with the life they had built. They found joy in each other's company and in the small, meaningful moments they shared each day. They began a tradition of planting a tree each year to celebrate their anniversary, a living testament to their journey. Over the years, their garden filled with trees, each one a symbol of a new chapter, a reminder of their enduring love. Their garden became a place where people would gather, a quiet haven where they could reflect on their own lives and draw strength from the trees that stood as silent witnesses to Mia and Alex's journey. Friends, family, and even strangers would visit, leaving messages of hope, gratitude, and love beneath the trees. The garden became a living tribute to the power of love to endure, grow, and inspire. As they grew older, Mia and Alex remained in touch with Mia's family, visiting them from time to time and sharing stories of their life in the village. Mia's parents, once so set in their ways, had softened with age. They had come to see that, while Mia had chosen a different path, she had found happiness in a way they hadn't expected but deeply respected. During one visit, Mia's father, Charles, took her aside and expressed his regret for the way he had treated her and Alex in the past. He admitted that he had been too focused on preserving the family's image and had lost sight of what truly mattered, his daughter's happiness. Mia embraced him, grateful for the chance to heal old wounds and reconnect as a family. From then on, Mia's family visited the village often, growing close to Alex and cherishing the love and unity they had all fought so hard to build. They became regular guests at Mia and Alex's garden, where they found peace and a sense of belonging they had never known before. As the years passed, Mia and Alex's garden became a cherished place of gathering for the community. They hosted picnics, concerts, and storytelling evenings, inviting people to celebrate life's simple pleasures. The garden bloomed with flowers and trees, each one a testament to their enduring love. They created a small pavilion where Mia would play piano for friends and neighbors, her music weaving through the air and bringing joy to everyone who listened. Alex, meanwhile, shared his stories, each one a reflection of the life they had built together, filled with love, sacrifice, and hope. Their garden became a legacy that touched countless lives. It was not a grand estate or a luxurious mansion, but it was rich in meaning, a place where people found solace, inspiration, and a reminder that true wealth is found in the love we share and the memories we create together. Mia and Alex grew old together, content in the life they had chosen. Surrounded by their trees, flowers, and the people they had inspired, they felt at peace. They knew that, in each other, they had found everything they had ever needed, a love that was true, a life that was meaningful, and a legacy that would live on in the hearts of those who had known them. When they passed away, the community gathered in their garden to celebrate their lives. Friends, family, and strangers alike shared stories of how Mia and Alex had touched their lives. They planted new trees in their honor, each one a symbol of love's enduring strength. The garden became a living memorial, a place where future generations could come to reflect, to find inspiration, and to remember the couple who had shown them that love is worth fighting for. Mia and Alex's story lived on, a testament to the power of love to overcome even the greatest obstacles, and a reminder that when we follow our hearts, we create a legacy that lasts beyond our time on earth. In the end, Mia and Alex's love had become more than just a story, it was a gift, a beacon of hope for all who believed in the beauty of a love that endures. And through their garden, their love continued to grow, touching lives and inspiring others to believe that true love can indeed conquer all. Years after Mia and Alex's passing, the garden they had created became a cherished landmark, known far beyond the village. It was officially named the Garden of Love, a place where people could come to celebrate life, find peace, and reflect on the enduring power of love. Visitors left letters, poems, and small tokens of affection under the trees, each offering a tribute to Mia and Alex's legacy. The community took great pride in maintaining the garden, caring for the trees, flowers, and pathways that Mia and Alex had tended to during their lifetime. The garden became a space for weddings, family gatherings, and festivals. Couples would walk hand in hand, inspired by the story of the two lovers who had defied the odds. Families would gather to celebrate anniversaries, planting new trees in honor of their loved ones. Every year on the anniversary of Mia and Alex's wedding, the village held a festival in their memory. Called the Festival of Love, it was a time when people from all over came together to share stories of love, friendship, and connection. The day was filled with music, dance, and laughter, each moment a reminder of the joy that Mia and Alex had brought into the world. As the Garden of Love flourished, it began to attract visitors from distant towns and cities. Among them was a young artist named Sophia, who had heard of Mia and Alex's story and traveled to the village to experience the garden herself. Sophia was struggling with her own heartache and hoped that visiting the garden would bring her clarity and inspiration. While wandering through the garden, Sophia encountered an elderly couple who had known Mia and Alex. They shared stories of the couple's courage, resilience, and the love that had brought them together against all odds. Sophia was deeply moved and spent hours sitting beneath one of the trees, reflecting on her own life and the choices she had yet to make. Inspired by Mia and Alex's story, Sophia began to paint again. She created a series of artworks based on the garden and the love story that had shaped it. Her paintings captured the essence of the garden's beauty and the spirit of the couple who had built it. When she returned to her city, she held an exhibition of her work, sharing the story of Mia and Alex with everyone who attended. Sophia's art became a bridge, spreading the legacy of Mia and Alex to new places and touching the lives of those who had never heard of their story before. Her work inspired others to visit the garden and to believe in the power of love to overcome life's greatest challenges. In honor of Mia and Alex, the village began a project called Letters of Love, inviting visitors to leave written messages for their loved ones in the garden. A small mailbox was set up near the entrance, where people could leave their letters. Each year, these letters were collected and stored in a special archive dedicated to Mia and Alex's memory. People wrote letters to partners, friends, family members, and even to themselves. The letters spoke of love, forgiveness, hope, and dreams for the future. The archive grew over time, becoming a treasure trove of heartfelt messages that captured the beauty and complexity of human connection. The Letters of Love project attracted people from all walks of life, creating a community of individuals who found solace and inspiration in sharing their emotions. The garden's caretakers carefully preserved each letter, ensuring that Mia and Alex's legacy would continue to touch lives for generations to come. As the years went by, the garden continued to grow, its trees standing tall as silent witnesses to the countless stories of love, resilience, and courage that had unfolded there. The garden became a symbol of the village's identity, a testament to the power of love to transform not only two lives but an entire community. Mia and Alex's legacy inspired countless couples, families, and friends to cherish their own connections and to believe in the beauty of a love that could withstand any challenge. The story of Mia and Alex became a timeless tale, told and retold by storytellers, artists, and musicians who found inspiration in their journey. New generations came to the Garden of Love, finding their own meaning in its paths and trees, and adding their own stories to the rich tapestry of love that had grown from the seeds Mia and Alex had planted. They found hope in knowing that, even in a world full of obstacles, true love could create a sanctuary where people could come together, heal, and grow. The Garden of Love stands as a living monument to Mia and Alex's journey, a place where love has flourished beyond their lifetimes. Couples continue to plant trees in their honor, families gather to celebrate their bonds, and strangers find peace among the flowers and shade. Mia and Alex's story remains alive, carried forward by those who visit the garden and feel the power of their love. It is a love that endures, a love that has touched hearts far and wide, transcending time and space. And as long as there are people who believe in love, the garden will continue to bloom, a symbol of the life Mia and Alex shared and the legacy they left behind. Through every season, the Garden of Love reminds all who visit that love, when true, can withstand anything. It grows, it heals, and it leaves a lasting imprint on the world. The garden, like Mia and Alex's love, will forever be a beacon for those who seek hope, inspiration, and the courage to live authentically and love deeply. As more people visited the Garden of Love, the community began to see it as not just a tribute to Mia and Alex, but as a space where anyone could find connection and healing. To celebrate this sense of unity, the village established an annual event called the Heart of the Garden Gathering. This event was a time for people to come together, share stories, and celebrate the bonds that made their lives meaningful. During the gathering, people from all walks of life brought tokens of love to place in the garden. Some brought photographs, others brought poems, and still others left small objects that symbolized their own love stories. The garden became adorned with these keepsakes, each one adding to the legacy of Mia and Alex and reminding everyone that their love had grown to encompass so many others. One special tradition emerged from these gatherings, the Circle of Love, where attendees would form a large circle around the oldest tree in the garden, which had been planted by Mia and Alex in their early years together. They held hands, and in that circle, each person was invited to share a short message about someone they loved, or about a meaningful moment they had experienced. It was a moment of vulnerability, connection, and support, a reminder that everyone's story mattered. As the years went by, the responsibility of caring for the Garden of Love fell to new generations. Young couples who had once visited the garden as children grew up and took on the role of caretakers, tending to the plants, maintaining the pathways, and keeping the spirit of Mia and Alex alive. Among them was a young man named Liam, whose parents had brought him to the garden when he was a child. He had grown up hearing Mia and Alex's story and had always been inspired by their love. When he reached adulthood, he became one of the garden's primary caretakers, pouring his heart into preserving its beauty and ensuring it remained a sanctuary for all who came to visit. Liam and his partner, Maya, spent countless hours nurturing the garden, planting new flowers, and restoring benches. They organized community events, like poetry readings and art workshops, each one aimed at fostering a deeper connection among the people who shared in the garden's legacy. Together, they passed on Mia and Alex's story to every new visitor, making sure that their love would never be forgotten. Inspired by the Garden of Love, nearby towns and cities began to create their own spaces dedicated to love and connection. These new gardens drew inspiration from MIA and Alex's story, but each had its own unique character, reflecting the people and cultures that created them. One such garden, in a city not far from the village, was called the Garden of Hope. It was designed to be a space where people could come to heal from loss and find solace in nature. Another garden, named the Garden of Reflection, was established in a bustling town, where it provided a quiet escape from the noise of daily life. These gardens became part of a network, all sharing the common purpose of fostering love, unity, and peace. The village organized a yearly Gardens of Love and Hope festival, inviting representatives from each garden to gather and share their experiences. This festival became a symbol of the growing movement, a testament to the way MIA and Alex's story had rippled outward, touching lives in ways they could never have imagined. As new gardens sprang up, the original Garden of Love remained a cherished place where people came to honor the memory of MIA and Alex. The community continued to add to the Letters of Love archive, which had grown into a vast collection of stories, memories, and messages that spanned generations. The garden's trees, planted in honor of loved ones, grew tall and strong, a living testament to the resilience and beauty of love. With each passing year, the garden flourished, blossoming anew with each season, as though it had taken on the spirit of MIA and Alex's love, a love that continued to bloom, even in their absence. During the garden's annual gatherings, new and old visitors alike would wander through the trees, reading the letters and reflecting on the lives that had been touched by this place. It was as if the garden held within it 1,000 love stories, each one a tribute to the love that had started it all. Decades later, the Garden of Love was still a beacon for all who believed in the power of love to transform, heal, and connect. People came from near and far to visit the garden, to leave their own letters of love, and to find solace in the shade of its trees. MIA and Alex's legacy had grown into something greater than either of them could have imagined, a movement that transcended time, space, and generations. Though MIA and Alex were long gone, their love story lived on in the hearts of everyone who came to the Garden of Love. It had become a part of the community's soul, a symbol of hope for anyone seeking the courage to follow their heart. The garden, now surrounded by other gardens inspired by their story, stood as a testament to the enduring power of love, a power that could change lives and touch the world. And as the sun set each evening, casting a warm glow over the garden, one could almost feel the presence of MIA and Alex, hand in hand, walking among the trees they had planted together. Their love had not only survived, it had flourished, leaving a legacy that would continue to inspire for generations to come, a love that would truly last forever. As the Garden of Love became a renowned destination, people from around the world started to visit, each bringing their own stories and leaving behind seeds of new beginnings. Visitors were invited to plant seeds in the garden, each representing a personal hope or wish for the future. Over time, these seeds blossomed into vibrant flowers and plants, each with a plaque that bore a message of love, dreams, or renewal. One summer, a woman named Isabel visited the garden. She had just gone through a painful breakup and was searching for a way to move forward. Walking among the trees and flowers, she felt the peace that seemed to emanate from every corner. She found a spot in the garden where she could plant her own seed and buried a small packet of lavender seeds beneath the soil. With them, she left a note: "May this be a new beginning, a path to healing." Isabel returned to the garden each year, watching as her lavender bloomed and spread its calming fragrance. Over time, she began to see the garden as a place of renewal, where she could leave behind her worries and embrace the beauty of life. Her visits became a ritual, each one a reminder of the power of hope and the promise of growth. The Garden of Love became a tapestry of interconnected lives, each new visitor adding another thread to its fabric. The Letters of Love archive continued to grow, and soon the village organized a group of volunteers to transcribe and digitize these messages. They created an online platform called The Stories That Bind Us, a virtual space where people from all over the world could read the letters and find inspiration in the words of strangers. The platform allowed people to share their own stories, and soon, it was filled with accounts of resilience, heartbreak, and joy. People left messages of encouragement, shared memories of loved ones, and posted stories of finding love after loss. The stories that bind us became a global community, connected by the simple yet profound truth that everyone's journey is unique but resonates with universal emotions. Through this platform, the Garden of Love's impact reached beyond its physical boundaries, inspiring people who had never even set foot there. The garden's story was no longer confined to the village, it had become a source of hope for people around the world, a reminder that love connects us all, regardless of distance or background. As the Garden of Love's reputation spread, it became a place of pilgrimage for those who sought healing, inspiration, or simply a quiet moment of reflection. Visitors came from all walks of life, couples who wanted to celebrate their anniversary, families who came to remember loved ones, and individuals who sought solace in the garden's peaceful beauty. Each visitor left a mark on the garden, whether it was a message tied to a tree, a flower planted in memory of someone, or a story shared in the Letters of Love archive. The garden continued to evolve, shaped by the countless stories that it held, each one a testament to the strength and resilience of the human heart. One year, a group of musicians visited the garden and organized an impromptu concert beneath the trees. Their music filled the air, blending with the whispers of the leaves and the songs of the birds. The concert became an annual event, a tradition that drew people together in celebration of love and life. The musicians called it the Symphony of Love, and it became a cherished part of the garden's story. As the Garden of Love grew, so did the community's desire to preserve its legacy for future generations. Liam, now an elder in the village, and Maya, his lifelong partner, took it upon themselves to create a program for young people called Guardians of the Heart. The program invited young volunteers to learn about the garden, its history, and the importance of caring for it. The Guardians of the Heart became stewards of the garden, tending to the plants, organizing events, and welcoming visitors. They also learned about the values that had inspired Mia and Alex: love, resilience, and the courage to follow one's heart. Through workshops, storytelling sessions, and guided tours, they shared these values with others, ensuring that Mia and Alex's legacy would continue to touch lives for generations to come. The program became a rite of passage for the village's youth, a way for them to connect with their community and with one another. They took pride in their role as guardians, knowing that they were part of something much larger than themselves, a legacy of love that had started with Mia and Alex but now belonged to everyone who believed in the power of connection. The Garden of Love stood as a symbol of enduring love, a sanctuary where people could come to find peace, inspiration, and a sense of belonging. Mia and Alex's story had become a part of the village's soul, a reminder that love, when nurtured, could grow to touch countless lives. Through the gardens, festivals, and the stories that bind us platform, their legacy reached far and wide. The garden's trees stood tall, each one a testament to the love and resilience that had sustained Mia and Alex through their journey. Visitors continued to come, drawn by the garden's magic and the promise that love, no matter how difficult, could flourish if tended with care. And as the garden's flowers bloomed each spring, their vibrant colors spoke of renewal, hope, and the beauty of a love that would never fade. Mia and Alex's story had become more than a tale of two lovers, it was a beacon for all who believed in the transformative power of love, a light that would continue to shine for as long as there were hearts willing to cherish it. As the Garden of Love entered its golden years, a new path was added, lined with wildflowers, roses, and delicate ferns. Known as the Blooming Path, this walkway became a favorite spot for couples who came to stroll hand in hand and reflect on the beauty of love's journey. At the entrance to the path, a small plaque bore the inscription, "Love grows, changes, and blooms anew with every season." Visitors often remarked on the way the path seemed to come alive with each step, as if the garden itself was breathing in harmony with them. The Blooming Path became a place where people could leave tokens of their own love stories, tying ribbons to the trees or placing stones along the edge with messages carved into them. One couple, Marco and Eliona, visited the garden every year on their anniversary. They had discovered the Garden of Love during a difficult time in their marriage and had found healing beneath its trees. Each year, they added a stone to the Blooming Path, each one etched with a promise they had made to one another. Over time, Their stones formed a small circle near the path's edge, a personal testament to their commitment and growth. As the Garden of Love grew, Liam and Maya decided to establish a small cottage at the edge of the garden for visiting writers, artists, and storytellers. They called it the Keeper's Cottage, a place where creatives could stay, find inspiration, and contribute to the garden's legacy through their art. The cottage became a haven for those seeking solitude and reflection. Guests would stay for weeks at a time, often working on projects inspired by Mia and Alex's story. Many artists left behind their works, which were displayed in a small gallery within the cottage. Paintings, poems, songs, and sculptures filled the space, each piece a reflection of the artist's interpretation of love and resilience. The Keeper's Cottage also became the center for storytelling sessions. On warm evenings, Liam and Maya would invite visitors to gather around a fire pit outside the cottage, where they would share stories of Mia and Alex, as well as their own experiences. These storytelling sessions became a cherished part of the garden's rhythm, connecting visitors with one another and allowing them to contribute their own voices to the garden's ever-growing legacy. Inspired by Mia and Alex's story and the community that had formed around the Garden of Love, the village launched the Seeds of Kindness initiative. This project encouraged visitors to take small packets of seeds from the garden and plant them in their own communities, creating pockets of love and beauty wherever they went. Each seed packet contained a card with a simple message: plant these seeds and let love grow. People from all over the world took part, transforming vacant lots, urban parks, and personal gardens into spaces that reflected the spirit of the Garden of Love. As these gardens flourished, they became symbols of kindness and resilience, each one linked to the original garden and Mia and Alex's legacy. Visitors often sent photos and letters back to the village, sharing how their gardens had brought people together and brightened their communities. Over time, the Seeds of Kindness initiative helped spread Mia and Alex's story across continents, creating a network of gardens that carried forward their message of hope. With the garden's growing influence, the village established a 24-hour schedule, allowing visitors to experience its magic at all hours. By moonlight, the Garden of Love took on a new enchantment, its pathways softly lit by lanterns that cast a gentle glow over the trees and flowers. People who visited at night found a unique sense of tranquility, listening to the whispers of the leaves and the soft murmur of distant streams. During these quiet hours, some visitors would walk the blooming path alone, while others sat beneath the trees to reflect, meditate, or simply breathe in the night air. The garden became known as a place where time seemed to pause, offering a moment of stillness for those who needed it most. Night after night, the Garden of Love continued to welcome new hearts, each one adding a layer of beauty and meaning to the tapestry Mia and Alex had begun. In this way, their story grew richer, deepening with every soul who found peace among the garden's branches. As generations passed, the Garden of Love remained a sanctuary where people came to celebrate, remember, and connect. The garden had become much more than a memorial to Mia and Alex's love, it had become a symbol of love itself, a place that embraced all who entered. Liam and Maya, now elderly, continued to care for the garden, their hearts entwined with the legacy they had upheld. They often sat on a bench beneath the oldest tree, watching as new couples, families, and individuals discovered the garden for the first time. They knew that one day, they would pass on their roles to the next generation, who would carry the garden forward with the same love and dedication. With every new visitor, the Garden of Love continued to grow, reaching beyond the bounds of time, weaving together the stories, dreams, and memories of all who believed in the power of love to transform, to heal, and to endure. It became a place not just of remembrance, but of continual rebirth, where love's legacy would forever bloom. In this garden, Mia and Alex's love lived on, a light that never dimmed, a story that never ended. As long as there were hearts open to love, the garden would thrive, a testament to the enduring truth that love, once planted, could grow into something that would last forever. As Liam and Maya grew older, they began to prepare for the transition of the Garden of Love to a new generation of caretakers. They gathered a group of young villagers who had shown a deep connection to the garden and appointed them as the guardians of the legacy. These new caretakers, each passionate about preserving the essence of Mia and Alex's story, were trained in the traditions and values that the garden represented. The guardians of the legacy took on various roles, from organizing community events and maintaining the garden's paths, to leading storytelling sessions at the keeper's cottage. Each guardian also contributed something unique to the garden, reflecting their own love stories, personal experiences, and hopes for the future. One of the new guardians, a young woman named Elena, was particularly drawn to the Letters of Love archive. She made it her mission to continue collecting letters, as well as recording oral histories from visitors who shared their own stories of love and resilience. Elena envisioned the archive not just as a collection of memories, but as a living history that future generations could learn from and be inspired by. The guardians of the legacy introduced a new tradition, the planting of the heartwood tree. This tree, planted at the very center of the garden, was meant to be a symbol of unity and connection for everyone who had ever visited. Its heart-shaped leaves and wide, sheltering branches became an instant draw for visitors, who would gather beneath it to meditate, reflect, or simply sit in its shade. Under the heartwood tree, the guardians set up a circle of stones, each one engraved with a message of love or hope from visitors who had been touched by the garden. The stones surrounded the tree like a protective circle, creating a space where people could come together and feel connected to one another. The heartwood tree quickly became the heart of the garden, a place where people could come to find solace, celebrate, and remember. It became known as a wishing tree, where visitors would tie ribbons inscribed with their hopes and dreams to its branches. Over time, the ribbons grew so numerous that they created a vibrant tapestry, fluttering in the breeze and carrying messages of love to the sky. Recognizing the impact the Garden of Love had on so many lives, the Guardians of the Legacy established the Garden of Love Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to preserving and spreading the values that Mia and Alex's story represented. The foundation aimed to support similar gardens around the world, each one inspired by the original. The Garden of Love Foundation offered grants and resources to communities that wanted to create their own sanctuaries of love, resilience, and unity. These new gardens, though unique in design and culture, all shared the core values that the Garden of Love embodied. The foundation also funded educational programs, art initiatives, and wellness workshops, helping people explore and celebrate love in all its forms. Through the foundation, the story of Mia and Alex continued to reach new audiences, expanding its influence and inspiring others to build their own spaces of connection and healing. The foundation's work ensured that the Garden of Love's legacy would continue to grow, touching countless lives and bringing people together in the spirit of unity. With the foundation's support, the Garden of Love became a destination for pilgrims from all over the world. These pilgrims, each carrying their own stories and dreams, visited the garden to leave a mark and draw strength from Mia and Alex's story. The Guardians of the Legacy created a program called Journey of Pilgrimages, which guided visitors through the Garden of Love, as well as other affiliated gardens established by the foundation. During the pilgrimage, visitors were encouraged to plant their own seeds, leave messages beneath the heartwood tree, and participate in a Circle of Love ceremony. The experience allowed them to connect with others, sharing their stories and reflecting on the universal journey of love and resilience. Pilgrims would often leave transformed, inspired by the garden and the stories of the many who had come before them. Some returned home and began creating their own gardens, drawing on the values and traditions they had experienced during their visit. As the decades passed, the Garden of Love stood as a testament to Mia and Alex's story, but also to the thousands of lives that had been touched by their legacy. The heartwood tree grew tall and strong, its branches reaching skyward, a symbol of the enduring power of love. The garden's paths were well-worn, yet always full of life, with each new generation adding its own chapter to the ongoing story. The Guardians of the Legacy continued to care for the garden, ensuring that its traditions were upheld and its beauty preserved. And with the Garden of Love Foundation's support, new gardens blossomed across the globe, each one carrying a piece of Mia and Alex's love into new communities. In every garden, beneath every tree, and along every path, Mia and Alex's story lived on, not as a distant memory, but as a vibrant, enduring force that inspired love, connection, and resilience. Their love had transcended time, space, and countless generations, becoming a beacon of hope for all who believed in the power of love to change the world. The Garden of Love, and the gardens it had inspired, would forever bloom, carrying forward the message that love, once planted, can grow into something timeless and beautiful, a legacy that lives on in every heart it touches. As the Garden of Love and its sister gardens continue to flourish, the Garden of Love Foundation introduced a new initiative called Echoes of Love. This project aimed to record and share the voices of people who had been inspired by Mia and Alex's story. Echoes of Love became an audio archive filled with testimonials, memories, and reflections from people across the world who had visited the gardens or had heard the story and been moved by it. Every year, the foundation held a gathering called the Echoes Festival, where these recordings were played throughout the garden. Stations were set up along the blooming path and beneath the heartwood tree, allowing visitors to listen to the stories of others who had walked the same paths. The Echoes Festival became a cherished event, as people gathered to celebrate the love that had connected them all. At each festival, new stories were added to the archive, ensuring that Mia and Alex's legacy continued to grow, now reaching new hearts through the voices of those who had been touched by their story. For visitors, listening to these recordings became a way to experience the beauty of human connection, as they heard stories of hope, transformation, and love from all corners of the world. With the Echoes of Love project thriving, the foundation created a companion initiative called the Tapestry of Wishes. Visitors to the garden were invited to write their deepest hopes, dreams, and wishes on pieces of fabric, which were then woven into a growing tapestry that hung near the entrance to the heartwood tree. Each year, the tapestry expanded, a colorful patchwork of hopes and dreams from people of all ages and backgrounds. The Tapestry of Wishes became a symbol of the shared aspirations of everyone who visited the garden, a reminder that while everyone's journey was unique, they were all connected by their hopes for the future. The guardians of the legacy took great care to preserve the tapestry, adding a new panel each season and ensuring that the wishes left by visitors would endure. For those who returned year after year, the tapestry was a visual representation of the garden's growth and of the love that continued to bloom within its grounds. Inspired by the many young people who had found solace and purpose in the Garden of Love, the foundation established the Seeds of Tomorrow Scholarship. This scholarship was awarded annually to individuals who had visited the garden and who demonstrated a commitment to making a positive impact in their communities. Recipients of the scholarship were encouraged to pursue projects that reflected the garden's core values: love, resilience, and connection. Many recipients used their scholarships to start community gardens, organize art programs, or create mental health initiatives inspired by the lessons they had learned from Mia and Alex's story. Each scholarship recipient was invited back to the Garden of Love to share their progress, connecting with other scholars and supporters. Over time, the Seeds of Tomorrow Scholarship became a way for the garden's influence to extend even further, empowering a new generation of leaders who were committed to spreading love and resilience in their own unique ways. As the Garden of Love and its affiliated gardens spread across the world, a movement began to take shape. People from different countries and cultures joined forces to create an international network of gardens, all inspired by Mia and Alex's legacy. They called this global initiative Gardens Beyond Borders, a coalition of spaces dedicated to fostering connection, healing, and love. Through Gardens Beyond Borders, the foundation organized exchange programs that allowed caretakers and guardians from different gardens to visit each other's spaces, share ideas, and learn from one another. This exchange of knowledge and culture enriched each garden, helping them to flourish and grow in new ways. Gardens Beyond Borders held annual gatherings, rotating among the various gardens, where people from all over the world came together to celebrate the universal power of love. These gatherings became known as the World Garden Summits, a time for sharing stories, celebrating diversity, and building new friendships that transcended boundaries. As the Garden of Love continued to thrive, it became clear that Mia and Alex's story had grown into something far greater than either of them could have imagined. Their love had planted seeds that had blossomed into a global movement, one that celebrated the resilience of the human spirit and the power of love to unite, heal, and inspire. The heartwood tree, the blooming path, and the keeper's cottage had all become symbols of the garden's enduring legacy, while the echoes of love, tapestry of wishes, and seeds of tomorrow's scholarship ensured that the garden's impact would reach far beyond its borders. In the end, the Garden of Love stood not only as a tribute to two people who had defied the odds for love but as a beacon for all who believed in the beauty of connection. Its roots had spread, its branches had reached high, and its flowers had bloomed, all carrying forward a simple yet profound truth: love, once planted, could transform the world. And so, Mia and Alex's legacy lived on, not just in the garden they had created, but in every heart that had been touched by their story. It was a love that would never fade, a harvest that would continue to grow, and a reminder that love, when given freely, has the power to bloom for eternity. As time went on, the Garden of Love continued to expand, and the guardians of the legacy created a new section called the Garden of Remembrance. This area was dedicated to honoring the lives and stories of those who had visited the garden and been profoundly impacted by it. Small plaques were placed beneath trees, each one commemorating someone who had found solace or inspiration within the garden's embrace. Visitors to the Garden of Remembrance could sit quietly, read the names, and reflect on the interconnectedness of all those who had walked these paths. Many found comfort in knowing that their loved ones were forever linked to a place that celebrated love in all its forms. The Garden of Remembrance became a sacred space, a place of gentle stillness where people could remember, grieve, and find peace. Each year, on a chosen day, the guardians of the legacy held a ceremony of light in the Garden of Remembrance. During this ceremony, they lit candles for those memorialized there, their flames casting a warm glow that spread through the garden. Visitors brought flowers, letters, and tokens of love, leaving them beneath the trees as symbols of enduring connection. Inspired by the impact of the Garden of Love Foundation proposed the creation of a worldwide celebration known as Global Love Day. The foundation worked with other gardens beyond borders to establish this annual event, a day when people everywhere could honor the importance of love in their lives. On Global Love Day, people were encouraged to plant flowers, share stories of love and resilience, and spend time with the people who mattered most to them. The day was marked by events, concerts, and gatherings in gardens around the world, with each garden hosting its own unique celebrations. The heartwood tree in the Garden of Love became a focal point, with visitors coming from all over to tie ribbons and leave notes expressing their appreciation for those they loved. Global Love Day quickly became a cherished holiday, uniting people across cultures and continents. It was a day to celebrate not just romantic love, but love in all its forms, love for family, friends, nature, and humanity as a whole. Through this celebration, Mia and Alex's legacy became a global phenomenon, a reminder that love is a universal language that everyone can understand. To preserve the countless stories, letters, and messages that had been left in the garden over the years, the foundation created the Living Archive, a digital repository where people could access and contribute to the garden's history. The archive included scanned copies of the Letters of Love, recordings from the Echoes of Love project, and photographs of the Tapestry of Wishes. The Living Archive became a powerful tool for sharing Mia and Alex's story with the world. Accessible from anywhere, it allowed people to connect with the garden's legacy and to add their own stories, creating an ever-growing collection of love and resilience. The archive became a source of inspiration for writers, artists, and researchers who found beauty in the tales that had unfolded within the garden's paths. The guardians of the legacy maintained the Living Archive with great care, curating its contents and ensuring that Mia and Alex's story remained at the heart of it. Through the archive, future generations could explore the garden's history, learning from the stories of those who had walked its paths and felt its magic. As the original guardians of the legacy aged, they began to pass their roles on to a new generation of caretakers who brought fresh ideas and visions to the garden. These new guardians, inspired by the love that had built the garden, introduced programs aimed at expanding its reach even further. One guardian, Jonah, was a botanist who started the Flourish Project, an initiative that brought rare and endangered plant species to the garden, further diversifying its ecosystem and highlighting the importance of biodiversity. Another guardian, Layla, was a musician who launched Sounds of the Garden, a series of outdoor concerts featuring artists from around the world, with each performance celebrating the theme of love in its many forms. With each new project, the Garden of Love grew richer, its legacy evolving to meet the changing needs and dreams of those who tended it. The new Guardians honored MIA and Alex's story, but they also added their own chapters, ensuring that the garden would continue to thrive and inspire in ways that were relevant to each new era. The Garden of Love, with its heartwood tree, the blooming path, and the Garden of Remembrance, had become more than a sanctuary. It was a living symbol of love's ability to endure. MIA and Alex's story, once a tale shared between two hearts, had blossomed into a movement that spanned the globe, touching countless lives. As the garden continued to grow, it remained a place where people could find peace, celebrate connections, and plant seeds for the future. It was a testament to the power of love to transform, to unite, and to leave a lasting imprint on the world. And though MIA and Alex were no longer there to walk its paths, their spirit lived on in every tree, flower, and story that filled the garden. In every corner of the garden, their love was felt, a love that had once defied the odds, but now had become a beacon for all who sought hope and connection. The Garden of Love stood as an eternal reminder that love, once planted, could grow into something far greater than ever imagined. It was a legacy not just for MIA and Alex, but for everyone who believed in the power of love to change the world, one heart at a time. And so, MIA and Alex's story lived on, forever entwined with the garden they had built, a love that would continue to bloom for generations to come. Their legacy was a love etched in time, a love that would never fade, and a garden that would forever grow. Years turned into decades, and the Garden of Love stood as an everlasting monument to the power of love, connection, and resilience. MIA and Alex's story had become woven into the very fabric of the garden, their love reflected in every tree, every flower, and every path. Visitors from all over the world continue to arrive, each one drawn to the garden's beauty and its promise of hope. As the sun set over the garden each evening, the heartwood tree cast long shadows that stretched across the paths, as if reaching out to embrace all who walked there. Beneath its branches, people left tokens of their journeys, letters, stones, and ribbons, all carrying with them stories of love found, love lost, and love renewed. The Garden of Love had become a place where past, present, and future intertwined, a sanctuary where people of all backgrounds and ages could come to honor the love in their lives and find inspiration to carry forward. It was a garden that transcended time, standing as a reminder that love, in all its forms, is what connects us to each other and to the world around us. In the garden, MIA and Alex's legacy continued to blossom, reaching hearts that they would never know, but that would forever be touched by their story. The Garden of Love became a testament to the enduring power of love, a force that could grow, transform, and live on beyond us, carried forward by the people who believe in its magic. And so, as the seasons changed and the garden bloomed anew each spring, it was clear that MIA and Alex's love would forever be rooted in this place, a love that had grown beyond two lives to become a gift to the world. It was a love that would never fade, a garden that would forever thrive, and a story that would continue to inspire, reminding all who visited that love, once planted, can bloom forever.